Another Coppola film you were in was Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Kilgore.
Right.
And the line that...
Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore.
Lieutenant Colonel, sorry, I didn't want to demote him. The line everybody remembers is him kind of inhaling and saying, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning."
Yeah, people come up to me on the street today like, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," like I never knew it and forgot it after I said it, like, "Ha ha, I got something, know something you don't know." Okay, pal, like enough's enough. I hear it so much. But I like that character, yeah. There was somebody else slated to play it, and I said, "Look, Francis, I'll ask you one time. I would love to play that guy. I know he's written as a much bigger guy than I am, but..." And then he came to me, and, you know, and it was, I really liked playing it a lot.
Incoming! This LZ's still pretty hot, sir. Maybe you ought to surf somewhere else.
What do you know about surfing, Major? You're from goddamn New Jersey. Hey, come here. Change.
You mean right now, sir?
I want to see how rideable that stuff is. Don't change.
Still pretty hairy out there, sir.
You want to surf, soldier?
Yes, sir.
That's good, son, because you're either surf or fight. That's clear. Now get going. I'll come aboard. And bring a board for lands.
Can't do shit till the boat gets here.
Lands. I'll bet you can't wait to get out there. What? See how they break both ways? One guy can break right and one left simultaneous. What do you think of that?
Bill, I think we gotta wait for the tide to come up.
Hey, Lance, come here. Look, look.
Incoming!
The tide doesn't come in for 6 hours. You want to wait here for 6 hours?
I read somewhere where you had a dispute with Coppola about a scene that was cut where Kilgore saved the life of a little Vietnamese boy.
Yeah.
And you wanted it in there because it showed a contradiction of character, which is true of all of us in one way or another.
Absolutely. And he cut it. To this day, I'll never know why he cut it. And it wasn't so much a controversy because the movie didn't come out till, what, 3 years later. Had it come out 6 months later or a year, I would have been more vehement about it. But it came out so much, it took so long for the movie to come out, that when it came out, I felt it was no longer my movie because it was his, because it had been so long. But to this day, I mean, they cut to a reconnaissance plane, and here was a guy who saved the life of a baby, probably just to kill the father, sent the mother with it in the helicopter back, and while he's doing it, he's looking at the waves to see if they're good for what kind of surfing, you know. And it was Francis's idea to put it in there. We had heard it from certain technical advisors, how these interesting contradictions happened. You know, I mean, not to make somebody all one color or whatever. And to me, it was strange to cut it out. I mean, I don't know why. I still don't know why.
Do you think he feared, or somebody put a bug in his ear, that if you show this guy to be sympathetic in any way, if you mitigate the feeling that the audience has about him, it's going to compromise whatever you've built up emotionally in the audience? They won't be able to handle ambivalent feelings about the guy.
Maybe I always felt it was like, maybe I got paranoid. It's a little pressure from his liberal friends in San Francisco. Oh, we got to make this guy all one. The guy like that wouldn't save a baby's life, which people do. People aren't black and white. I don't know. Maybe the character was getting too much emphasis and it wasn't about that guy. That was the implication. What they told me, that was the movie kind of stopped a little bit there, and they wanted to keep it going and not give too much emphasis to Kilgore. But as long as you're emphasizing him, I don't know why you don't put that in. It didn't make sense to me. So he said, "I'll put it in when we put it on television," you know. He knew it meant a lot to me, you know, but I never got any kind of answer as to why he cut it out. There was just no, and there was no reason why it would be cut out. It wasn't ugly visually, and it certainly wasn't ugly logically that a guy would do this. I mean, people, you know, people aren't all, and even people call the guy crazy, which he wasn't. It was like adult day camp in war. You know, a guy breaking up the monotony by doing fun and games because he knows his job so well he can do that. The surfing and everything. It's not crazy. It's just like men doing bizarre things as children when it was in a life or death kind of perimeter. But I don't know why I cut it out.
When you're in a situation which by definition is insane, short of doing deliberately vicious and cruel things, not much can be classified as crazy in that context.
I found out when I went back, see, when I was in the Philippines for I think 6 weeks, and I came back 6 months later to do the first half of my part for 3 weeks, because I got it with Brando, and it took a long time to get it filmed with Dennis Hopper and everything, and they finally got it done, and then I came back. So in the meantime, I had a chance to talk to some air cavalry people, and there were some bizarre things that went on. I heard that the head general of the air cavalry used to deer hunt twice a week along the Cambodian border from the helicopter, and he got killed, and that's how he was killed. The thing got crashed into a tree. And one of the technical advisors said he was with the air cavalry, and the guy would fly into North Vietnam and try to hook a bicycle with the runner of the thing, and they would shoot at him, and he'd hover, and he'd come back until he could finally get in there and steal that bicycle. They would do crazy things, the air cavalry. They were on dope, they were on this and that. And the guy that I talked to said, in the compound where the mechanics worked on the helicopters, they didn't allow anybody on any kind of dope or marijuana or anything. But in the field, it was going on like crazy. So these were like a wild bunch of guys. They have in Fort Hood, I think there's a museum dedicated to the air cavalry, and they actually wore. The inaccuracy was that every officer should have had on a cavalry hat and spurs, going back to the 7th Cavalry in the last century. And I know I've seen things in the newspaper that say that the Marines and certain straight-laced protocol people say that these things didn't go on, but I've talked to air cavalry people that said they did go on. A very bizarre way they fought the war, And so this guy was not crazy, but maybe the culmination of the bizarreness of that whole air cavalry mentality.